I wrote this on May 3rd, 2023. Seeing it there upon a raked up pile of long, dead grasses, I pounced, not unlike a dog, recognizing and accepting the possibility, mid pounce, that I could definitely end up getting bitten. Reaching, grasping, missing, and again, in dog like fashion, a second pounce, designating the goal mid pounce, to do all I could to limit the stress on its heart. Reaching, grasping, and finally, the culmination of an ultra rapid fire succession of events. Today, I caught a garter snake. At first, the way I held it, though gentle, completely staunched its ability or desire to slither. Because of my concern for its little heart, holding it in this restrictive manner felt like a bad idea, and so I decided to lessen my hold. As I did, it made to slither out of my hands and escape. Quickly, I had to place my other hand in front of it to slither on, and once it was free, do the same with my other hand. A repeating and rotating movement I had to keep up for as long as I wanted to allow it an illusionary freedom while denying it the true freedom of escape. Thankfully, after a few moments, the snake seemed to relax and slow down. This allowed me and my hands to relax as well. I had been holding it now for maybe a minute and made the decision to bring it up to the house to show some people. So I set off up the hill. I had begun tracking the lateral expansion of the snake's respirating body. Is it slowing? As a way to find peace in the belief that it had become acclimated to its novel circumstances. Was it at peace? Was it accepting of and enjoying its very unexpected adventure? In this moment, I recognized something. I could relate deeply to the snake and what it was being subjected to. This realization brought about within me a guilt that created a sense of cognitive dissonance. There had been a part of me that had been passively imagining keeping this snake, that it could learn to trust me, that maybe he'd find this sudden shift in his reality enriching, that upon my hands and weaving through my fingers, maybe he'd experience the world in a way that he had never had before and want to stay in this new existence. But the way I was holding it, it could move, yes, but it had no free will of its own to alter its circumstances. Within my hands, the snake was facing futility. His desires were completely overridden by my own. Maybe he had recognized and accepted this futility, and it was just surrendering to this sudden tangential reality. But maybe he hadn't. Maybe all of his physicality was still driven by a desire to escape. Did he know that he was slithering upon an autonomous entity with its own independent desire? Was he able to discern that the visual feedback of movement through space he was experiencing was not the result of his own efforts to move through space, but a result of this autonomous entity's own desire, its footsteps? The idea that he was unable to recognize these realities was hard for me to think about. Once I got to the house, I sat down in a chair and angled the snake out of direct sunlight. After a few minutes, I walked back down to the raked up pile of long dead grasses and released him. I then took out my phone and began to write.